Hey, what's up to everybody out there? Welcome to another edition of the Round Table Talk. I am your host C Money, and in today's episode, we are going to be visiting the neighborhood area of Wynwood here in the Miami-Dade County area. Now, let me give you a little bit of background. Wynwood is a neighborhood area that stretches from 20th Street all the way to 29th Street, just north of the downtown and Overtown area and south of the Little Haiti, North Miami, and Miami Shores area. And right now I am here at Wynwood Walls, which is a artistry area. Now I'm gonna give you a little bit of background of Wynwood. Wynwood is a arts and entertainment district. It is more of a art and food district where you come out here, you come out to a lot of the art galleries like here at Wynwood Walls. You come out and you take a gander with art. You come and you view some of the art here, and you also get to shop at some of the local, businesses, and also come out to, take in some of the fine cuisines that they have here. Some of this here you have there. Now Wynwood Walls is one of the main attractions here in Wynwood, where they're open every day until 6:30, and you have a pleasure. It's $12 and some change to get in, and you come out and you enjoy the place. Now be the change. Now a lot of these are local artists, and some of these are not just local. There are artists that come to Wynwood to bring their art and to showcase their art to the public, and they showcase it so they can show the thing. Now there are a lot of other places here. Like there is I've heard there is a place called Museum of Graffiti, where you can go and you can check out a lot of graffiti art. Because most of y'all don't know, graffiti is a form of art, and that is something that a lot of people don't know, that you can have graffiti as art. But it's just some people look at it as defacing properties and stuff like that. But when you come to Wynwood and you come out, you actually get to experience a lot of the graffiti art that is here. Because a lot of these buildings, like here, and as you see on certain of these buildings, you will see graffiti in a lot of these buildings. Let's go over here and see what this is about. This is, I think, a restaurant that's here. We're gonna this is street art. I think it's a exhibit that it's here, but it is actually closed. And they have other areas here that you can actually take in, and you can actually take a look at, because you do have a lot of things to experience here. We're going to go inside this gallery. We're going to go take a side inside of the gallery and see what the gallery has to offer. This is Goldman Global Arts Gallery. I'm not going to take a picture, I'm taking video. You have Mickey Mouse. I'm guessing the Wizard of Oz. Here. I can't tell you who that is. Maybe it had something on it. Doesn't have the person that looks like police brutality, or train tracks here, other things. We're gonna go in. This is basically art at its best here. A broken glass. That's funny. And you have a lot of art that sits here. Most art. Okay, we're gonna go. Yeah, this is called the street art experience. It is closed, but it's understandable. You know, and this is not the only place. You can go visit other places. They do have a family fun center here that we will be probably visiting, or we're gonna stop by in the area as well to give you an understanding of the area. And this is where we started at. You can take a gander of this. They do have an ice cream little stand here where you can buy certain things and things like that. Wynwood Walls shop. They have a shop here. They have, looks like tires that are benches you can probably sit on. And this is a lot to intake. Like for me, I've lived here all my life and I've never actually visited here. And I always know that this is I think maybe a subway train or elevated people mover train that you can take in. Let me go look on the other side. It might.
Sorry, do you mind taking a picture?
Sure. Not a problem.
I was trying to put the timer here, but it's tricky. Let me just turn the timer on.
Oh, let me put my in my pocket.
Stay there on the wall.
Oh, on the wall. Okay. Ready, set, go. He said, go.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
No problem. And yes, as you can see, there are people that probably visited here. This is probably one of the most common visitation centers here. It says transitchicago.com. So I'm guessing this is a train from Chicago. CTA, probably, which means Chicago Transit Authorities. Documentation headquarters, credentials required at Wynwood Wall. This is probably where the employees come at. This is looks like the gift shop. Is it the gift shop? Oh, I guess you gotta go in through the other way. Yeah. And this is also one of the areas. Now if you're here in the Wynwood area, this is one of the places that you must, that is a big Incredible Hulk. We're gonna go back in. We're gonna do a 2 to 3 part of this, because this part is basically gonna be about the Wynwood Walls, and also we have the rest of Wynwood that we're going to also explore. Now, if you are one of those people that if you're not really into art, but you're into the entertainment, you can also visit Wynwood, because they not only do has art, they also have where you can be entertained with a lot of restaurants that has live music, and they probably have a lot of nightclubs that is here to where you can actually take in a lot of intake. They also have tours. If you want to take a tour of the Wynwood Walls, you can also take a tour of the Wynwood Walls here. This is another room of art in it. This is mainly catering, I think, to race cars and everything. Oh, this is fun. That's Star Wars. This is, I don't know what that is. That looks like a devil, I'm guessing. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. So if you're into art, there's another book in glass that you can take in. And if you are into stuff like this is something interesting. This is something you will want to take in. Roughly, if you do tour this, it will probably take you roughly 30 minutes to view everything, and that's probably worth the experience of everything. The last time I came, I wanted to Wynwood. I was with a friend and I wanted to visit it, the Wynwood Walls, but by the time we came, it was after 7, and that was at the time, and I was like, no, you're closed. So it actually was like, I was so devastated because I couldn't actually get the intake of Wynwood Walls. So I was like, no, because I've always wanted to visit. And as a local, this is more of a tourist attraction than it is for locals. Because, local people, they're like, especially if you're not a fan of art. Me, I just started getting into the world of art because I have a friend who is an artist and that goes to school for artistry. So shout out to my friend, and it's one of those things that I'm taking in. I've always been a fan of art, but I never really took the culture of art. Yes, you always was one of them people. You went to an art museum every now and then, or you go to a little museum that showcases different arts and stuff like that. So now I'm starting to take in more because it's certain art is the culture of life, and a lot of these areas and places, they do showcase art to where it tells a story, and not only their story, but it tells a story of our history. I've been to several art exhibits. Not only if you've seen my past when I did Hotspots in South Florida, when I did the Black History Tour, we went to a cultural center, and they had art and displays from when it was for Black History Month, and they were showing a lot of that, and I had the opportunity of going there, and I took some pictures and things, and it was earlier this year in February. If you go look back at it, it was due. And I also had an opportunity, because this was my second year doing Black History tour. I did it last year, and as always, I've always seen the Black History tour, but I've never actually did it. And last year was my first time doing it with me and my mom, and I actually got a chance, the opportunity to experience, the art and history behind Black history, because Black history does have art as well too. And there are a lot of artistry that comes here to Wynwood to showcase their art. There are a lot of art galleries here. Like I said, there's the Museum of Graffiti, which is probably somewhere in the area. You have a Paradox Museum, which is a three-dimensional museum where you as a person is part of the museum experience. I might go there depending, because I've seen the price and it's reasonable. And also, if you're not into, if you have kids, you can also come here to a family fun center called Fun Dimension, which is one of the places we're going to take a tour of. We're not going to go inside. We're going to do that probably for another day, but we're all going to stop by there because it's a part of the Wynwood experience. But here you get to experience a lot of this stuff, because Wynwood is mostly consists of art and graffiti. Like if you're walking down the street and you see a lot of graffiti on the walls in Wynwood, most people will be like, ugh, they're vandalizing these stores and these buildings. They're not vandalizing. Here it is called art. As you can see across the street, what may look to you like graffiti, it is actually art, because a lot of these artistries, they take buildings that have been run down or torn or have been abandoned for years, and they use the walls as a form of art, and they show off their artistry. And even though some of them are just street artists that just do it just to do it, but there are some that are street artists that do it to showcase off their artistry, to where they want the people to know, hey, you may not know who I am, or I may not have a sign under my art that showcases this is who I am, but at least I'm leaving my mark here as an artist and as, a person of art. And a lot of these artists, some of them started out as street artists, and then they grew into be well-known artists and well-known painters and things like that. You think a lot of these artists, they just didn't start out. They was in middle school, elementary school. They was painting. One of these days, they started doing art and murals. I can tell you right now, I don't know how to paint or draw. I'm not one of them people. My friend does an amazing job doing it. You might I might see some of his paintings or stuff like that, but in reality, yeah, that's one of the tools that they're doing here. You might see it, you might not get to see it, but at the same time, this is one of those places where you take in. You see, they have a what looks like a electrical box, and they turned it into a boom box. Anything that you have or you see can be turned into art. See, these look like benches, but in reality, those are benches, but those look like tires from a tractor. And you have, of course, you still have this actual train here that consists of being. Yeah, we're gonna go to the front. Like I said, it takes you roughly, if you're in 15 to 20, maybe 30 minutes to actually peruse this area. We're going to end the show in about a minute or two. We're going to end the show because we have finished our tour of the Wynwood walls. Let's take a look here. That's a green young thing. You have a map here, and you have a lot for the Wynwood walls. And I believe Wynwood walls is basically like another outside museum where ever so often they change up their murals and they change up the artistries and everything that is here painted. It changes up every now and then. Like, if you've actually seen, actually been to like museums, they always switch up their artists. They switch up their things and stuff. I didn't realize the lights was on the outside, but they're also on the inside. And I stand between cars at any time. I'm gonna see if I can actually get a picture of the inside of the train. You probably can, and they probably do have it where you can take a tour inside of the train, but maybe not at this point. This looks like it's a cracked window. So honestly, yeah, you can see inside here, and you can also see they have boxes in here that is probably for storage and things like that. So this is what it is. Yeah, so this is the Wynwood walls. This is here in Wynwood. This is right off of 25th Street and Northwest 25th Street and 2nd Avenue. Remember, I said earlier in the show, 2nd Avenue is the main corridor for Wynwood Wall. So if you ever want to come out, you take this and you come out to here and you enjoy it. So we're going to end on the note here. This is part 1. We're at Wynwood Walls. We're going to continue outside in part 2 and 3 of Wynwood Walls. We're going to continue our walkthrough of Wynwood and the areas surrounding it and give you more in-depth of Wynwood. So thank you for watching this. As always, stay safe, stay blessed, stay hydrated, and I will see you in a little bit. The Round Table Talk, your host C Money. Take care.